Hi everyone, welcome. Come on in. Okay, so today's video has been inspired by communication I had from one of our subscribers. Um, this subscriber particularly has an interest in a topic that actually is quite interesting, and I happen to know quite a bit about it. So I am gonna talk about it tonight. First of all, let me say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are from, you are all welcome here without any discrimination, prejudice, or anything negative. We love you all. We welcome you all with open arms. You are all welcome here to listen and to learn and to contribute. Um, Everyone is valuable here, and we welcome you all with open arms. You're highly loved and cherished. So, today's topic is going to be the jinn. Yes, the jinn. This is a very interesting subject, but there is a lot of misinformation out there about it. And tonight I'm going to attempt to clarify a few things about the jinn, and also explain um, about their origins, what they are, and so on, from the knowledge that I have from my ancestors, my teachers, and from my spirit guides as well. So, as we all know, human beings, us human beings, we have been created from water and clay or earth. So our creation, set the spirit aside. The spirit is one. Everyone's spirit is similar in its origin and in its nature. And our outside appearances are just different because it's just variety, and there's also a test in it for all of us to see whether we can see beyond our differences or make it into an issue and behave as if we are better than other people, or and so on. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that in the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لنبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا صدق الله العظيم. So we test you, which one of you will do the best, or which one of you is going to make the right choice. We are created from water and clay, or earth. The jinn are created from fire. However, they are created from water as well. So they have water and fire. And in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وخلقنا من الماء كل شيء حي صدق الله العظيم, which means we have created from water all things that are alive. So you'll find that water is a necessary element, as mentioned in the Quran, for life, whether that life be originating in clay, in fire, or in light, as in the angels. The angels are water and light. So the jinn are water and fire. The jinn are a civilization who are much older than humans. They can be confused with extraterrestrial species. They can be confused with angels often, because they have some of them have luminescent features, or they light up, or their markaba, or in Arabic markaba means a vehicle, the vehicles that they travel on, they have a process of operation that is produces light. When these vehicles fly, they produce light. So I'm going to talk about the differences between the different vehicles a bit later on in the video, but I will start by saying what I know about the jinn. This is strictly my experience and from our experience as Sufis, and especially in my family and in our school. So they have been created a long time before humans, and they have qualities that could be on the surface viewed as superior to humans, so they can do things that humans cannot do. In the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are not superior to humans, and I will talk about why that is a bit later on in the video. But we know from the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or God the Most High, made the angels and the jinn bow down to Adam, our father and ancestor, original ancestor, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, Adam. And the bowing down is that the fact is not superiority as we perceive it, but it is in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He placed us humans at a higher point than angels and jinn, simply because we suffer more than they do. And suffering is a powerful quality. People can view it in a negative light. And yes, it is painful when people suffer. And it is something that people do not want to go through, obviously. Nobody would want to go through the suffering that human beings go through, whether that be mental, physical, or spiritual. Throughout their lifetime, they suffer. They come out of the wombs of their mothers screaming, and they often die screaming. This scream of a child when it comes out of the womb of its mother, when it's birthed. I have delivered many children. I have delivered many children in my career as a doctor. And there is one thing that's very striking about these children. When the harder they scream, the healthier they are, or they're considered healthier when they scream as soon as they come out. The scream is an indication of the baby breathing, being able to breathe, because the opening up of the lungs is a painful thing for the children. As they gasp the first breath in, it's very painful for the child, so the child screams. This is why they scream. But it has a deeper spiritual meaning. It is because when the child comes down to this plane of existence, it is a plane that is fading and a plane of decay. It is considered inferior to where the child's spirit was before, in the realms, the higher realms, or the spirit realms, with the higher beings and beings of light. In the world of spirit, it's higher than ours. This one is a realm of endings and decay. The backstory has been simplified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, God the Most High, saying that He has brought us here as a result of the sin of Adam. But of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that all of this would happen, and He created it this way for a reason. The universe, or all universes, all existence is based on giving, generosity of the Most High. So life is a gift. It can be painful, but it can also be pleasurable and beautiful. That all depends on how the person is and how they behave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us choices, and when we choose to do the right things and be positive and believe in the Most High, you will find that you exist in a space of calmness, purity, and serenity. Nothing really bothers you that much anymore. You enjoy joy for its joy, and you understand that pain and suffering is for growth. It is also a way of elevation. So humans are elevated by suffering. That's why we are higher than the jinn and we are higher than the angels. We could go into this deeper, but it would take a few episodes to finish this. So I'm going to go into the jinn. So the jinn, as far as our law goes, they were created first on the planet Jupiter an extremely long time ago, 6 billion years ago. They originally evolved from fire volcanoes and fire on Jupiter plus water. It created life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the God the Most High, created life through the fire, volcanoes and water. The same way that clay and water created life here, that happened on Jupiter with fire, volcanoes and water. This is as far as the knowledge that I have. They were created, the first record that they have, the jinn, of their creation is 6 billion years ago. For example, us humans, from our science, we know that our history goes back millions of years, but not billions, as far as we know, from science. So, as far as the jinn have, from their science that they have communicated to us, they were created 6 billion years ago, originally on the planet Jupiter. When man was created, they were contracted to bow down to man. They all did, except Iblis, or the devil, or Satan, or Lucifer. He did not bow down to humans because he was prideful. That is why pride is the biggest sin anyone can commit. To be proud, to be excessively proud. It doesn't mean you can't be proud about what you have and you know your value, but it just means that if it is used excessively and to compare oneself to others and to elevate oneself over others in pride, that is a sin that we have to be consciously asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the Most High God, for forgiveness for. And this is something that me, for example, I don't shy away from doing every day. We all have our pride, and we all are humans. We are created with the energy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we can have pride. But the key to a happy life is how to control that pride. That is what makes a person happy. If they can control that pride, if they can rise above the pride. So the jinn were contracted to humans, and Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith, or in the scriptures of his sayings, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him eternally, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he said that, what translates in English that into every human has a group of jinn that is assigned to them, that follow them throughout their life and aid and assist them. Bi-iznillahi ta'ala. Okay, so every human being has that energy, that fire energy that is originally based in Jupiter, but is now on Earth because of contractual reasons, and reasons that they've been contracted to be with humans. As far as my knowledge goes, these are very complicated contracts, and even when they say Jupiter, it doesn't have to be the actual celestial body, but maybe it was the material that Jupiter was created from when the solar system was together and all a big mess and jumble. The jinn originated from that one that is now Jupiter. They vibrate very intensely, the jinn. So they vibrate at an extremely fast rate. And this is at a cellular level for them, or molecular level. Therefore, our eyes cannot see them. And no technology that we have now can detect them, usually. It is described by them, because I communicate with them. I communicated with them for the purposes of this video or this recording, or because I have my own writings and my own, let's say, preparation for the videos and for presentations and so on throughout my life. So I've communicated with them in the past, and this is the information that I got from them, is that they vibrate at a molecular level that is too fast for us to detect them. And our eyes are not able to detect them. Our senses are not able to usually detect them. Unless someone has the gift of the sight, like myself, then we can detect them often, let's say, but not every time. Okay, it is when we are meant to. Okay. Now, they describe this vibration as a shaking or rhythm that resonates with the energy of the earth and the universe. It's very high, the vibration. Our technology can't detect it, like I said. They can help humans, or they help humans during their lifetime. They are basically a part of nature, naturally occurring creatures. Help humans with amassing wealth, getting work, and even finding life partners. Oftentimes, the humans do not know about this because they can't detect them. But sometimes they do. The appearance of the jinn is much more beautiful than any human, and even more beautiful than any other extraterrestrial that is, say, in extraterrestrials. Now people say Pleiadians look perfect, and so on. For example, if someone believes in this, but the jinn are more beautiful than them. They are extremely beautiful. They look perfect, like sculptures. They are, I would say, overwhelmingly beautiful. If you see one of them, they are overwhelmingly beautiful. They are like nothing else. That is like nobody else, especially in us human beings. Okay, they are much more beautiful. Now, they have 9 kingdoms. These 9 kingdoms are ruled over by one queen. The 9 kingdoms are peaceful and loving mostly. However, they have the negative and the positive. They believe in Abrahamic religions. So will you find a jinn that is a Christian jinn or a Muslim jinn or a Jewish one, the same way that humans do. Obviously, we are taught as Sufis not to judge and not to practice prejudice against people. Everyone has their own path, and you lead by example. We believe that we are on the right path, but it doesn't mean that other people are not on the right path. And we do not have the right to go against anyone, and we do not have the right to force anyone to follow any kind of path or religion in any way, or manipulate them in any way to make them follow that religion. But we lead by example, and we display our knowledge, and you will find that this is the best way and the most honest and genuine way for people to follow Islam if they are meant to. Now they said that this queen is even more beautiful than the regular jinn. She's extremely gorgeous and beautiful. She can manipulate energy, so she can transmute energy. She has the powers of teleportation. She has the powers of flight, going anywhere, anytime, doing things that to us would seem like magic or unimaginable. They have in their kingdoms creatures that are like wild animals, but they are different. So I mean, my brother was joking with me. He said maybe they have Pokemons, or they have, or maybe they have, I don't know, electric dragons or whatever. But they do have creatures anyway that are not like ours. Okay, they are different. Now they can also fly or levitate, and they fly up to outside the earth and reach the heavens. They are very psychic and much more advanced technologically than humans are. They have specific symbols that are connected to their kingdoms. Some of them are the snake, the eagle, the cat, and the lion. So they have these symbols connected to their kingdoms. They have the dragon, and they have other symbols that are characteristic for they have these symbols intermeshed within their kingdoms. I do not know what purpose they serve, but they're probably for identification and like for display of power, like humans do. They use the same symbols for various things. They have other symbols that are connected to other creatures that they have within their kingdoms. They're also connected to the rune system. If you know the runes, the Celtic runes, they are connected to the rune system. They are extremely loving when they are good, very benevolent, and very powerful. The ships that they travel on, they look different than other ships, whether they are of humans or extraterrestrials, let's say. The jinn ships are very irregular in shape, so you will find, like, from what the spirits are saying to me, like the ones that are seen in South America, for example, other parts of the world, maybe the desert, these places, you'll find things in the sky that look very irregular, but they can do very interesting maneuvers and fly very quickly. They use magnetism and anti-gravity to operate their ships, is what I've been told. And some of them, in their kingdoms, part of the ones in their kingdoms, 5, I believe, out of the 9, 4 or 5, I'm not sure. Are they 4 or 5? 5? 5, yeah. 5 of the kingdoms, they can fly. They can actually fly themselves. So that's why if you like to look at UFO videos online and things like that, you'll see things in the sky that look like creatures with flapping wings. They can see them in space. Something that's flapping its wings that is huge. Okay, that is huge. Like maybe as big as like one quarter of the moon or something. Something passing by it. I've seen videos like that, and these are the jinn. The jinn themselves are different, like I said, kingdoms, or in Arabic we call them tara'iq, which is like paths or sub specialty paths, let's say. Okay, so they have paths, and then their paths they branch out into other paths and so on. there's so much going on in their kingdom. Like they can make themselves very small, they can make themselves very large. Some of them can change shape, they can change size, they can change appearance. And oftentimes people see them in the sky and they think that they say this thing is alive, and that is one of the jinn. Below the queen they have what we call the marids of the jinn, or the huge, like the big one, the big guys, you know, they're like kings or princes, let's say princes in that kingdom, or princesses. These are huge, okay? They live in the earth, within the earth itself, underneath the surface, and in the oceans, and even sometimes they're found above the surface. But everything they live and are connected, live with and are connected to, vibrates at a very high rate, so it is not visible to the human eye. And sometimes the vibration lowers and people see it for a second and they say, oh, there's been a glitch in the matrix. Oh my God, I saw a tree and the branch was a whole meter away from the tree and there was no tree. The branch was floating in the air. That's from the kingdom of the jinn. That's from the other universe. That is they have their own, like, kind of, it's almost like another universe. And they have their own sunrise, their own sunset. All of their world vibrates at a higher level than ours. Therefore, it is not obvious to us and we cannot feel it, but it exists simultaneously with ours. Because they are on a higher level than us, they vibrate higher than us, they are able to see us, but we are not able to see them. And in the Quran it's mentioned, the ayah translates to يراكم هو وقبيله من حيث لا ترونهم in Arabic, and that means, like in English, that translates to they see you from whence you cannot see them. Obviously in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the time when the Quran came, and you know, and in the Quran the statements have to be accommodating for all times and all ages and all eras, so there was no explanation about vibration and so on. But in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when Moses, peace and blessings be upon him, found the fire in the bush, he was describing something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said in the Quran, يَهْتَزُّ كَأَنَّهُ جَانٍ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ الْعَظِيمُ, which means vibrate, it shakes as if it is a jinn. And the shaking and the vibration was described in the Quran as yahtaz, which is vibrates or shakes. Now, the jinn are all around us, and most of them, like I said, are benevolent and helpful, and they're everywhere. Some ghost sightings and cryptid sightings and so on are from the jinn kingdom. They lower their vibration before they are about to fly, basically, is what we have been told, and therefore sometimes they appear to some people. They can also have specific contracts with human masters, and some of the Sufi sheikhs do work with them. I personally do not work with them at all, but I am aware of their existence, and I have a love and a respect for them, and I can feel their energy. And I had to seek permission from the Queen before I made this video. So I asked, and I saw just a glimpse of her, a vision. Long hair, and the hair itself was like changing color, and wings. She had wings, and she had like this long flowing dress, but I saw her from her back. I didn't see the face. Apparently she's very beautiful. She's extremely beautiful. They are very powerful with things like abundance. They work with basically many different things. And King Solomon the Great, Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, or King Solomon in the Bible, or Sayyidina Sulaiman, Solomon also for the Jewish traditions. Sulaiman, he was one of God's prophets, one of the forefathers. He is the father of David, or the son of David. And they are connected to the Queen of Sheba, was his wife, and the King Menelik of Ethiopia, who is a descendant of the Queen of Sheba and a descendant of King Solomon, was King Menelik of Ethiopia, the first king of Ethiopia. And obviously, if you know from the channel My History, I do have ancestral connections to Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt, amongst other countries. I'm very mixed, my background: Morocco, France, Spain, but also Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, and a very small portion of Lebanese. But I do know that from our portion that is from Ethiopia, they are from the courts of King Menelik. So the Queen of Sheba is connected to us ancestrally. And I know many people who are connected to her ancestrally, and you always find that these people are very knowledgeable, full of faith, full of beauty, very spiritual, and kind-hearted. And this is something that I noticed about them all. Very noble. They have a nobility. Even though their kingdoms are not known today in this age, there are other kingdoms. For example, the kingdom of Morocco, the king is a direct descendant of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and my mother is his cousin, indirect cousin, second cousin. But you'll find that the kingdom of Morocco and the kingdom of King Menelik in Ethiopia, they are also connected ancestrally. So it's a very mixed mesh. But basically, they all end in the house of Abraham, alayhi salam. Peace and blessings be upon him, or many of them. So King Solomon had control over the jinn and over demons, and some of the demons used to serve him in his kingdom, and he used to be their king. The animals also used to serve King Solomon, and the wind. He used to control the wind. That is the meaning of the word Windsor. When you say the house of Windsor, Windsor is someone who is the sir of the wind, controls the wind, okay? A king of the wind. And King Solomon the Great was a king of the wind. Obviously, all of us on planet Earth, if you go back in history, we are all come down from Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, Adam. Peace and blessings be upon him. And then people branched out throughout the earth. But you find that most royal families are connected because they're connected to Abrahamic lineages originally. So they have connections like that in many of them. Most of them, not all, but most of them. If not, they will definitely have some common ancestor at on some level. Like, for example, I know that from my mother's side, we have one of our great-great-great-great-grandmothers. Her name was Zayda, and Zayda is the grandmother of Queen Elizabeth. God bless her soul. And I felt real sadness when Queen Elizabeth, for example, passed away. But my mother met her when she was younger. And we have a saying in Arabic. It says "Ad-dam bihin, ad-dam yahin," or "ad-dam bihin," which means like blood seeks blood, or is amorous of blood of the other. If you're related to someone on some like ancestral level, you can find yourself emotionally connected to them as well, or you find yourself attracted to them. And it's like we call it the workings of the wombs. There's al-arham in Arabic, okay? The workings of the wombs. So if people meet in wombs, you find that they become friends or lovers or partners, or even work together, and they would care about each other even without knowing each other really, and so on. Okay, so there will be some kind of connection there that people can't explain. They say, for example, this is your soul tribe and so on. The jinn are connected to all of these families and all families on earth contractually. Okay, so back to the subject of the jinn. King Solomon the Great used to have contracts with them. There are sigils and symbols that control the jinn. But King Solomon's rule was very vast and huge. It wasn't just the jinn. It was also connections, angelic energies, other kinds of spirits of people who had passed on, the wind, like I said, animals. So you find a lot of lore with King Solomon, and if you do some research into it, you'll find a lot of spirituality there that is very powerful. And some of these things are connected to the jinn kingdom. Some of the Sufi sheikhs, like I said, work with them, and I don't have anything negative to say about that. Everyone, each to their own. But me personally, I don't work with them. Like I don't use them for my work and my spiritual work, and I don't work with them. The ships that come to me, or the lights that you see in my videos, they are angels. They are extraterrestrials, and there are also jinn ships, but these are the ones that are contracted, and they are like just there to love and to care and to protect and to help out. But there is no contractual arrangement that I have with them in this life to do any kind of spiritual work. Sometimes they help without me knowing, is what I've been told, but it's not something that I go into with them. Also, another thing that they have said is that the jinn, that I have to mention here, is that the jinn have healing powers, but they also seek healing from humans. They are very well known in history to have sought healing from many of the Sufi scholars. Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jailani radiallahu anhu, who is Abdul Qadir Jailani, who is Sheikh Abdul Qadir, who is buried in Baghdad, who is one of my ancestors as well. He is a Sayyid man, or a man who of descent from the house of the Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, with his mother and his father. And he is the most powerful wali in history. No one has exceeded his power up to this date. He used to be called the doctor of the humans and the jinn, because he used to heal both. I know that one of my uncles, who is a Sufi sheikh, very well known, he passed away a couple of years ago, God bless his soul. I have seen miracles with this man. His name is Sheikh Abdullah. I know him, and he is one of the most kind-hearted, sweetest, most beautiful, accepting, loving people you can ever meet. And I learned a lot from him, and I have to say that one day I believe he saved my life. He had miracles, and that day I was going to die of thirst, and then I saw him in front of me with a bowl of orange juice, in a pumpkin, half pumpkin filled with orange juice, and he gave it to me to drink. And I remember that time, it was Ramadan, and I drank that because I didn't have anywhere close to me where I was at the time. I didn't have anywhere close to me to drink, to find water or to find a drink. I was working in East Africa with the United Nations, and we were doing field work, and it was Ramadan, and I decided to fast, which wasn't, I don't know if it was wise or not, but I decided to fast and not to break my fast. And then I found myself in a place, very far off place, dealing with an emergency, and there was no water to drink. And I just felt I was losing my consciousness. I felt like I was losing my consciousness. And I just kneeled against this tree, or it was like a block of woods, really, not a tree, a block of woods, and a block of wood, and I kneeled against it because I couldn't stand on my feet, and there was no one there to help me. No one was with me, and then I saw Sheikh Abdullah, Allah yarhamu, God bless his soul, there with the bowl of orange juice, and he gave it to me to drink. And I drank it. It was the most beautiful, amazing drink I ever had in my life. And then after that, I didn't need a drink for the whole night until I went to sleep. Even after I broke my fast, after I went back to the headquarters and broke my fast, I promise you, people were drinking so much fluids, but I couldn't. I felt satisfied. And when he gave it to me, something dropped on the floor, and I took it with me. And it was like this. It was like a bracelet. Let's say it's a bracelet. Yeah, it's another thing, but it looks like a bracelet. So I took it. So when I went back after all this happened, I used to go to him to visit him a lot when I was younger. So I went to visit him to tell him that I saw him. And as soon as I came into the room where he was sitting and there were people around him, he always sits on the floor. He never sits on a chair or on a bed. He sits on the floor, and people sit on the floor. When he deals with people, he's on the floor. And he deals with people every day, hundreds of them. And I went in, and he always used to, he had like, he was biased towards me. Every time I came, he like, he stopped and he looked at me and he talked to me and he made jokes with me. So when I went into where he was sitting, he lifted his head up and looked at me and he said to me, you have my bracelet. And I swear to God, when he said that, I thought my heart was going to stop. So it was amazing. So I saw miracles with him. So that man, Sheikh Abdullah, Allah yarhamu, he is in a very good place now. I have seen him. I did check and I did see and I did follow. And I always check when my people that I love go. And I have to know. And Alhamdulillah, Rabbi subhanahu wa ta'ala, he reveals it to me. Like 99% of the time, he reveals to me where they are. So he's in a very good place. And he's with us all the time, obviously, with his spirit. And he used to go out into the mountains every month or 2 months because he used to have sessions with the jinn. And in these sessions, he used to teach them things. And they used to also give him knowledge and gifts. But he never talked about it because some of us are meant to deal with them, some of us are not. And the fact is that I have not been dealing with them, and that's something that I just, since a young age, I never felt that I should be or I was needed in that area. Other people are dealing with it better than I am. But so they have dealings with humans in that kind of respect. Also, the jinn, there are part of them who can do incredible feats as well. They can bring something like in an hour, they can bring something, say, from Indonesia to Alaska in like less than an hour or something like that. So they have a lot of high technology and abilities that we don't have, obviously, because they are considered technologically more advanced than us, and their abilities, even physically, are a lot higher than ours because they are made from fire and water and not earth and water. We are very grounded. We are different, let's say, than them. And that's why Iblis, he was cast out from God's graces because we seek refuge in the Most High God from the devil and his games and illusions and snares. But he was cast out because of his pride, because he saw that he was made of fire and water. Why would he bow for something that was made out of clay and water and mud? So that was his point of view, but he he didn't, he was too proud, and arrogant. He didn't respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command and decree. So that was the whole problem. He went against the Most High. And it was his pride that drove him to do that. And therefore he was cast out of the mercy. So I always say, it's a test. We always have to control our pride, and that's the sign of success. Once someone does that, then they get miracles, they get amazing things that happen. I even saw it in my own life. When I was a lot younger, maybe in my early 20s, I was very different, but I was enlightened. And when I learned to control my pride was when my powers opened up. And when I started to get real energy and real blessings and real abilities, and even my psychic gift opened up properly. Obviously, when we are young, early 20s and so on, everyone thinks that they can rule the world and they can do this and that, and there's a lot that they haven't learned. But with time, you learn that it's pride that's preventing most of your blessings. And once you learn how to control that, that's the key to success of anyone. So when they are made of fire and water, this is a reason for their beauty as well. And beauty itself is a test. So if you find someone who is extremely beautiful, the outside appearance, our outside appearance is a test for us to see what we are going to do with it. And some people say to me, like my mother, for example, or my even my father and my grandmother, they say you look beautiful, you look good, and so on. But they've always taught me since a young age that it's a test. So ever since I learned how to get over my pride, I devoted myself to God, and I asked God, I said to him, use me, how you see fit, what you want to do, use me, use my appearance. And when I did that, I was even blessed more in my appearance. And I'm grateful, deeply grateful for it. But this is something that it is the biggest mistake to be proud because you are of the way you look. And like, you walk all over people, or you think that you're better than people because of how you look. This is a big test. And you see it in the jinn world because they are extremely beautiful. I look like a little poodle compared to, say, the Djinn Queen or the Djinn men or the Djinn women. Like a little insect. But they are extremely beautiful. But they also know that many of them, the good ones, they have devoted themselves and asked God to use them. Once you ask God to use you, then you will be blessed with everything. And He gives you more of the good things, of the beauty, of the good things, of the good energy. And you learn even more as time goes on that it's an important lesson we should learn from the Jinn Kingdom, and especially the good ones, because they teach us humility, how to be humble. In the way that they look, they have decided to submit themselves to God and respect the orders of the Most High God. And some of them are even submissive or subservient to humans, even though they look better and they can do more. But they do not let their pride take away their blessings. And that's very deep wisdom, and they have that. There's something I learned from them as well, from seeing them and from seeing how they operate at times. The other thing that the Jinn Kingdom, also I have to say I'm not a jinn, I'm a human. But the other thing that so my brother, he always jokes with me, he says to me, you're a jinn. I'm not a jinn, I'm a human being. But one thing that I remember now because of this joke is that the jinn in the old days, and even to this day, they are known to mix with humans in terms of marriage, and they even get married, and they have offspring, and they can have intercourse with humans as people. They look like people. They have intercourse with humans, and they have children. But when they want to do that, they lower their vibration so that they appear human. But you will see that it's a human that appears extremely beautiful to an extent that is like not explainable. So they come down and they lower their vibration, and there are rules and regulations that govern this, and it has to be done through the Djinn Queen and through many of Aqtab al-Ard, or we call poles of the earth, men and women who are very highly anointed by God, who give permission in these kinds of circumstances and are involved with that. I'm not involved with any of it. To be honest with you, it scares me because it's overwhelming. It's a lot of power, and I don't know much about it, but I know that it exists, and they have asked me, the spirits and ancestors, to mention it so that people know about it. Especially the people who are interested in this topic, who've requested the topic or have wanted me to talk about it. They have done this, and many bloodlines in humanity, in humans today, they have jinn DNA. They also have DNA, but they have to lower the vibration to an earthly vibration, and then they look like they have been brought from the earth and not from fire. So in the Quran, it's mentioned as well. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان صدق الله العظيم. So he says, like, talking about the women in paradise, the virgins in paradise who are given to men, they have not had intercourse, he says in the Quran, with a man or with a jinn, which means that jinn can have intercourse with women, and jinn women can have intercourse with human men as well. So it's very symbolic, the Quran, and the expressions are vague for a reason, so that it fits all genders, all sexes, and all ages and all times. But it talks about the feminines in the females in the Jannah, in the paradise, al-Hur al-Ain, which are called the Hur al-Ain, or the harems of paradise. And these ones, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they have not been had intercourse with a human or a jinn. So jinn can have intercourse, they lower their vibration. Another thing as well that jinn can do is that they can, like I said, make themselves small and big. Some of them reside in objects. You find jewelry that has jinn in them, especially in the Middle East and in the East. They have, like say in India, in Pakistan, in Iraq, the Middle East, even across Arabia, even in Morocco, all of these countries, and in other countries all over the world, people who have this knowledge. It's a vast topic and it's amazing, but I don't deal with them in terms of work, or I have not so far. And I will not, unless I get direct permission from Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. All of my work that I do, I have seen Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Roya, in visions 29 times, and I have seen him in the current description, the way that he's described. They were true ru'yas, and things after the ru'yas. If you listen to my other videos, you'll see that they've been validated after the ru'yas. So a lot of the work that I do has been approved by him, and so far there's been no mention of the jinn, and I have not gone into it. And it's a very vast area as well, so people tend to specialize in it, and they have a lot of characteristics themselves that enable them to do that kind of work. But Alhamdulillah, I am gifted with reading. For example, I can see past, present, and future. I can heal. I can change circumstances for people to go in their favor in all kinds of ways. And I am grateful because my power comes directly from and approved by Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even other prophets. I have seen them, and each of them has given me a secret. Sayyidina Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus Christ, peace and blessings be upon him, the Virgin Mary, and all of these, I have seen them, and every time, all of the knowledge that I've been given, all of the things that I've been given, they have to be given by permission In Sufism, we don't do anything without permission. Jinn can also levitate people, help them travel, help them go places. Something happened with me one time. I had, I'm just going to tell you this story before we end. I had someone visit me in my flat where I live. And that person, I didn't know them that well. They came to me, but I noticed that when they came to me, there was a stench, a really terrible smell. And obviously, because you have to be polite, it was a guest, I couldn't say anything, and I didn't say anything, and the person stayed and went. But I was just, the whole flat, I had to clean everything, I had to like spray everything, and then I went, I was exhausted, I went into the bedroom and I lay down on the bed. And I felt that my energy was really drained for some reason. And I lay down on the bed, and then as I was dozing off, I could see these two short, dark beings, one on each side of me, coming towards me, like creeping towards me from both sides. And I was on my own. Imagine how scared I was. And then suddenly, out of my body, two cats jumped out of me. Two cats, actual black cats, black, two. They jumped and they were snaring at these two things. We believe that the cat spirits are guardian spirits, okay? And I could feel the heaviness of the cats on the bed, but I couldn't move. It's like these two things paralyzed me. And obviously when someone is anointed and gifted, the negative energies, sometimes they try to come to them and to corrupt them or do things. And but we are very highly protected. That's why I always say in my videos, Alhamdulillah, I'm protected, I'm protected. So the cats jumped out. They were snaring at these two things. These two things got scared of the cats. They get scared of cats. I don't know why. They got scared of them. They started like walking back. They took one step back, and out of the wall behind my head, I have this big like king size bed in my bedroom, and out of the wall behind me, I saw a flying carpet come out of the wall, and on that carpet, Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jailani radiallahu anhu was sitting on the flying carpet. And he had his prayer beads in his hand. And I remember till this day, he had a white beard and he looked so nice. He looked very cute, like a cute old man. Very, very, very cute. And he was like, very like, when you look, it's the kind of people that you look at their faces and you just smile, He's a very sweet looking person. And he came out of the wall and he had his turban on. He was wearing that, like this big kaftan, this red thing, and with other colors. And then he came out of the wall, and green, there was a lot of green, and he came out of the wall with the carpet, and he aimed at these two things with the carpet, and he went towards them. When they saw him came out of the wall, they scrammed. And across the side, the way from me, from my bed, there is a cupboard to the left where I keep my clothes. And they went into it. And they went into it, and he just shot into that cupboard like a bullet. And I swear to you, the cupboard rattled and dust came out of it. And it all just ended there. There was no sound, there was nothing. And then I wasn't too shaken, but I was like, what the hell is this? This has never happened to me before in that moment. And then the spirit talked to me and said, these were really terrible things. You've been protected. He's destroyed them. And that's all they said to me. But I knew that I was protected. So the carpet was flying. So sometimes in the past, from what I know, the flying carpets used to be levitated by the jinn. Okay, and they used to be taken across land and across places in Arabia. And that's something real that happened, actually. Okay, and I think people will start seeing these things now happen really in real life. Obviously, there's a lot of people who do like shows and stuff who do these things, but it's not in a spiritual, probably not like aimed. They don't operate in a way in the way that our ancestors did. They're doing some kind of other work. I can't comment on that. I don't judge anyone. It's just my habit. I don't judge anyone at all. I think judgment is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I never ever say anything about anyone that's negative. I can't. And because you don't know what that person is doing, what they're thinking. Maybe they're doing something, but we don't know what's inside people's hearts. And most people will operate from a place of good, and they will want to do good things anyway. But it's not up to us to judge. We leave the judgment up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Sufi tradition, especially the spiritual Islamic Sufi tradition, with judgment up to God the Most High. You don't judge anyone for anything. So they can levitate things, they can do all kinds of amazing things, they can bring wealth, they can grant wishes, they can do healing, they can do all kinds of things, but you have to find someone who is specialized in that from a reputable house of practitioners. The best ones to go to are the Sayyid people, or the people who are descendants of the house of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ through his daughter Fatima, and who are well known for their good deeds and their healing people and helping people, and who have a good reputation. Okay? Don't go just to anyone and start messing, because the energies that people don't see, many of them can be deceptive. They can lead people off the right path, and they can lead to complications, okay? And until, for example, with the jinn situation, until I have a level of understanding of what it actually is and what it entails, because I like to know everything. If I don't operate in truth, I don't go there. I like to know things. I like to know things, actually, have answers, okay? Yes, I have faith, but still, logic in Islam is important, and questions have to be asked in Islam, and there's a lot of science. And even I'm going to close with this. In Surah Al-Jinn, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان صدق الله العظيم, which means, O jinn and humans, if you want to exit the circumferences, aqtar, qutr is like the circumference of a circle, when you draw it. And he said, if you want to exit the circumference, or an elliptical shape or anything like that, if you want to exit these ellipses of the heavens and the earth, exit them. But you will not exit alone. You will be watched. You will be presided over. And that is, when I talk to some of my friends about it, this could apply to, like, for example, wormholes, things like time machines, things like that, whatever people do with them, whatever the rules are. I don't know, I'm not clued up about them, but if people say, for example, discover how to travel through wormholes and can exit the actual circumferences of the earth and the heavens, which I think they will be able to at some point, because it was mentioned in the Quran, but they will be presided over by a higher power. And this could be, for example, some people say it's the Intergalactic Federation, some people say all of these are appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are high powers in this universe that watch us, and even if we are able to invent wormholes or time travel, or even point-to-point travel in the universe through entanglement science and quantum physics, all of that will be presided over by a higher power that is presided over by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, and God will be in control of everything. So when humans do this, it's not going to be a big thing, because it's already been mentioned in the Holy Book, and it's something that's going to happen. And it doesn't mean that there is no God, especially for Muslims, because we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything. And in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما خلقنا السماوات والأرض لاعبين صدق الله العظيم, which translates to, we have not made the heavens and the earth, we did not just make them to play games. So all of this space isn't just to play games and to decorate this, only just to decorate it for us. Yes, it's decoration and beautiful for us, and it's also mentioned in the Quran that it's meant to be decoration and beauty for us, but it also has another depth where there's a lot of creation that we are not aware of, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, and He has not been playing games making all of the planets, making all of the stars, all of the solar systems and so on. Okay, there's a reason behind them, and we really are not the best that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do. There's many other creations that are higher than us, and all of this is mentioned in the Quran. And the jinn are physically and technologically higher than humans, but spiritually they are considered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be less than them because of the suffering that we go through. I pray that all of your suffering ends today when you listen to this video. May you have a beautiful life going forward. May you have health, wealth, love, and happiness beyond your wildest dreams, and may you be protected from all and any harm by the hands of the Most High God of all creation. Amen and Amen. I love you guys so much. This went on much longer than I expected, but I hope it's interesting for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, experiences, or anything like that. And if you need me for any readings or any work, please email me at quranicverses6@gmail.com, and I will book an appointment for you. Appointments are paid because there is, I can't deal with all people who who want to talk to me, obviously, because there's thousands. But the ones who make it through will be able to pay for the appointments, and inshallah, everyone will benefit from the videos that are on this channel. And this channel is made for people who cannot pay or afford to talk to me or to speak directly to me or some. But I do my best anyway to accommodate people. And if you need me, just email me, quranicverses6@gmail.com, and we will take it from there. Also, if you feel like you want to donate to the channel, 50% of the proceeds from this channel will go to feed the hungry children of Yemen, which is a heartbreaking situation, which is the reason that motivated me to start this channel in the first place, when I was seeing the videos of their hunger and agony. And Yemen is a very dear place to me. It's close to a lot of my ancestry, and I believe I do have ancestors from there as well, far back through Ethiopia and through the eastern parts of Sudan and the Red Sea. So it's just I'm not gonna just help the children in Yemen, but I do have a plan to help all hungry children all over the world, from all religions and all backgrounds and all faiths. So if you donate, it will help the channel grow, and it will help me expand and give you guys more content and of a better quality as well. But it's not expected, but highly appreciated if you do. It's not something that you really have to do. If you need me, quranicverses6@gmail.com, and we can take it from there. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys in your next video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye for now.